Raise your hand is on the program? And you're going in the program after this, right?
I am.
Get in now. I've been fighting in 2 years to get certification.
I just got diagnosed
Get in
with
now.
a few skin cancers, and it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, before I start, tell me,
2 years.
who'd you work for?
I worked for Road Joe,
So,
Action Jackson back there.
so why is your illness certified?
It is now.
So why did it take 2 years?
Because they didn't want to certify it. They didn't even want to certify my PTSD 3 years ago. They refused to certify that.
There's more to this. Keep going.
My recent one, I had to get a congressman involved.
Donovan?
Yes, to get things moved. And it wasn't until
So,
then.
just so you know, he didn't do anything.
I don't know
but I'm
whether
just
he
letting you
did
know,
anything or
no
whether his guy did
congressional
anything.
input's going to help.
But
But why? So when you went into the
they
program
told me
originally,
that my condition that I have was not a certifiable condition.
what's your what condition?
I have pulmonary hypertension, pulmonary arterial hypertension, and
That's heart.
well, it's lungs,
Lungs, which leads to heart.
which leads
Okay,
to heart.
so stop right there. Stop. Heart's not covered under the bill by itself.
Right.
But heart is covered under the bill as a secondary illness.
Right.
Which now is why you cover it, right? I know this, I'm pretty good at
Actually,
this.
they didn't certify the heart. They certified the pH. They certified the lungs.
Well, what I can tell you is that they are doing studies and peer reviews and there'll be stuff coming out of medical journals on the heart. So my argument has been, and Richie will tell you this, and Brian will tell you this, post-traumatic is a physical and mental stress
Right.
on the body.
He took seizures with his
Right,
PTSD.
so, where, you know, hey, listen, in 2005, the Surgeon General said that PTS is a physical injury. So, here's the thing. You can blame the clinics or the centers of excellence that treat us, or you can blame Congress because that's the way they wrote the bill. Okay, and that's what it all boils down to. Congress wrote a bill, and on the healthcare side and the compensation side, the VCF, the DOJ, who administrates that, and NIH, who administrates the healthcare, they're just following the guidelines. So until more studies and more peer reviews come out and more people, listen, everything, we're trying to get illnesses added to the bill. Nothing happens unless statistics and facts. So while we're being treated, Richie's in the program, he's in the program, I'm in the program, not only are they monitoring, treating us and doing all that good stuff, they're also using us as guinea pigs. And taking statistics. God forbid there's another catastrophic event, man-made, Mother Nature, whatever. They'll know and they'll have a better idea. But 16 years later, when we get to year 18, year 20, and more people have hypertension, yada, 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 that helps get added to the bill. Also, the average age was 39.6 on 111, now they're 55, 56, 57 on average. Stuff like that's going to help because listen, getting old sucks. It's debilitating. Now we had 9/11 illnesses, it makes it worse. So, but feel free to petition the STAT committee at any
Absolutely.
time.
I mean, I
Have you ever petitioned the STAT committee?
I haven't, not yet, because
There's
I've been
too many
fighting,
battles.
trying to get, I've been fighting so many different battles.
They work for NIH. NIH works for the CDC. The
Right.
CDC works for the Secretary of Health. And it's a chain of command. And at the top, at the very top, there are those in Washington that still don't want this to happen. There are those who don't want to see this program even in place. So, the fact that we're even here, the fact that we got the bill passed in 2010 and there was no cancers, and then a year later, we get cancer added to the bill. Epidemiology takes 10, 15, 20, 30 years. We got, in 3.5 years, we got cancer added to the bill. We're ahead of the curve, but it's hard to tell the individual to wait, it's coming,
John, question. Why is it so impossible for
That
that?
Brian can't dunk the basketball.
No, but down in Washington, this was history in the moments of our country. Our elected officials down in Washington, D.C. should be helping us. Why are they fighting us? And it's not a question of money, because
No, it is.
It is.
Everything's about money in
We
DC.
live in a divided country, and in DC, what we learned is that we're not all totally Americans. And especially when there's an event on the east side of our country, right? So it's New York.
Right.
We fought against this anti-New York bias, even though New York is like the first state when anything else happens anywhere else in the country.
Right.
There's no rhyme or reason to trying to understand and wrap yourself around, why does this happen? Because you ask any normal American citizen, how can this happen? We can't decipher it.
And these are the questions.
It's remarkable that we have what we
Keep-
have.
Keep in mind, so when Richie and I, in 2005 or 4, going to DC,
Right.
Congressman Smith from Texas or Congressman Jones from Minnesota is gone. So then Congressman Wilson and Congressman Harrison come in. And we got to start talking to them again. We got to educate them. We got to get them up to speed. Then one of them gets caught in a scandal. The other one becomes a senator. And then somebody else comes in. So after 1,100 meetings with members of Congress and the Senate, you're like, well, who you knew? Did you vote yes or no in 2010? Did you vote yes or no in 2015? So it's a revolving door at DC. Now, where when we first started, we actually had moderate Republicans and moderate Democrats. Now you got batshit crazy left and batshit crazy right.
Right.
And it's harder to get anything done, let alone us.
Right.
Yeah, so.
The arguments I see, there shouldn't be an argument, because it was a national issue, like John always says. And
Well, listen, at the end of the day, none of us over here can begin to explain stupid, because that's what they are. Now, we're going to watch a quick video, then we're going to go through the slideshow really quick. I think Richie should do the slideshow. And then, if you guys have, we're going to get you guys involved in the program. And wait a minute, come forward, come, this is better. Everybody, this is better. She works for the Staten Island Clinic, where you guys will be going. So we're gonna bypass NIOSH, and they actually have a grand opening tomorrow. What time's that grand opening?
Tomorrow?
Yeah. 12 o'clock, right?
10:30.
10:30. So we're gonna get you guys enrolled. Are these the new ones?
They're down here.
What year do you have?
2017 school.
Yeah, I got to see it.
Yeah,
Hey, you guys,
this is-
these are more books though if you want them.
I'll pass it.
I'll pass them out.
All right, let's
For the slideshow, the books that you have already in your lap follows the slideshow a little bit, and then I'll pass these out as well. I haven't seen these yet, so I'm sure these are more up to date than the first ones. Thank you everybody for coming tonight. This is John Feal. Richie Alley's John Feal started the Feel Good Foundation, which is why we're here tonight. Richie Alley's is representing Barish and McGarry Law Firm. He's going to talk about the Victims Compensation Fund after he does the slideshow presentation. Sound good? And then we'll have some questions and answers. Don't forget bathrooms, water, and snacks and drinks in the back.
Hi, I'm John Feal, President and founder of the Feel Good Foundation. I'm also a 9/11 responder. I was there. Were you?
What are you?
I was doing a video for NIOSH, for the outreach against 9/11
I'm trying to
responders.
get outreach, you get people to do it. Who's the
Yeah.
spokesperson? Because you're gonna need someone likable. You're gonna need someone that people wanna listen to. So who's gonna do it? Were you the one who was doing it? As a matter of fact, I lived in Lower Manhattan. I was there. I should probably sign up.
You should.
Do you have information? Do you have a sheet? Do you have anything?
I have a form from Mr. John Stewart.
If you were there, they're here for you. They can help.
You signed up? But you never went for a physical, right?
I know, I called, I'm waiting for them to call me back.
Who'd you call?
I don't know, my daughter called.
What'd you do down there?
I was in the building, I was.
Oh, you're a survivor.
Yeah, I was a
Okay.
survivor.
Okay, so we have two different rules for survivors and responders.
Okay, I'm a
We'll explain that.
I'm a survivor, I worked there. Unfortunately.
You're a survivor, you're here 16 and a half years later, so God bless you.
And I was there in '93 too.
Raise your hand who has cancer. Anybody have cancer?
And
Skin's covered under the bill. Anybody else? Just one.
Rose, was there 3 other people who were sick from the trade center?
There's a gentleman who's not here, he's away, but he has just got prostate cancer.
Covered. Do you have a contact for him?
I do.
Rich? Rich? She's got contact for the guy with prostate cancer?
Yes.
So maybe share that information later? Good? You guys ready? Oh, go ahead.
My husband, who worked right there on the site, he was 2 feet away. He came down with sarcoidosis.
Covered.
He has that so many years now. And his heart, he has heart failure.
How old is
He's on oxygen.
What do you do? That he worked down there, or
He was right on 254th Way.
is that south? Is that south of Canal? South of Houston?
South of Houston for the health program, south of Canal for the victims' compensation for monetary compensation.
Survivors is south of Houston.
He just got certified.
The responders is south of Canal
For
for healthcare.
healthcare.
Yeah. Broadway south of both.
No, south of Houston.
Is that south of Canal?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not from Manhattan,
Doesn't
guy.
matter.
I think it's still covered, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right, we're gonna go into this now. Okay. Really quick, like Brian said, my name's John Feal. I'm a 9/11 responder. On September 17, 2001, 8,000 pounds steel crushed my left foot. Spent 11 weeks in the hospital, gangrene, almost died, yada, yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. It's had some asthma, some GERD, post-traumatic, but look at me now, I'm a silly clown. With that being said, 39 surgeries later, I got bored, I walked the halls of Congress. We helped pass 4 bills in Congress, one being the James Zadroga Health and Compensation Act. With that being said, I am a contractor of NIOSH. And since this isn't a contractor night, I can say whatever I want because NIOSH can't yell at me. So, we're going to go through this really quick, and then we're going to get everybody enrolled. You guys have any questions, we're going to ask them. We have experts here. Richie's a former deputy chief of the FDNY. He now works for a law firm. You got Betta back there who works for the Staten Island Clinic. You got Brian here who does a great presentation with donuts and coffee.
Thank you,
Most
Brian.
important.
Thank you, Brian.
And Brian's retired, and Brian's sick himself. He's from the FDNY. So we're all in the program. We're all sick, and we're sharing our knowledge with you. You ready, bro? Don't make me read this to you guys. All right. If you want me to read it, I'll read it out loud. What is the World Trade Center Health Program? Can you guys all see that?
Mm-hmm.
We'll leave it there for a few seconds. I will read this out loud, but it gets annoying. NIOSH makes me do it.
Most important thing with this slide, it covers the 3 terrorist attack sites on September 11th. So if you know family members, it covers the Pentagon, and it also covers Shanksville, Pennsylvania. That's probably the most important information you're going to take out of this slide.
Yeah. How is the World Trade Center Health Program different from other 9/11 programs? Whoever gets that thing in the mail or an email from the 9/11 Health Registry, that has nothing to do with the World Trade Center Health Program. That is just the New York City Department of Health collecting data on you guys. It doesn't do anything for you. All right, the World Trade Center Health Program is going to monitor you, treat you, pay for your medications, your surgeries, and all that. And I think that you guys now give out checks when they show up, right? No?
A lot of people think
That
they're in
was
the health
awesome.
program
No.
when they get that registered.
Yeah, but a lot of people confuse it. They think because you registered with the 9/11 Health Registry, and for years I've been telling them to change the name of that. It's confusing, especially when people are sick and dying. It doesn't help. Go ahead. World Trade Center Health Program eligibility. You guys were all with the private ambulance. What day did you guys get down there?
9/11.
How long are you there for?
I was assigned at 8
7:53 in the morning. I got back to Staten Island from Manhattan at 10:22
At night.
at night.
So the first day you need 4 hours. 4 hours. Second day, 8 hours. Everybody meets that?
Yes.
Yes.
4 hours, 8 hours? Good? All right. Eligibility. Oh, look, 4 hours, 24 hours, 80 hours. They go through the list of all of that good stuff. You're a
If you wanna-
survivor. You don't have.
If you were there on September 11th, if you were in the dust cloud, if you were there early on, 1 hour.
Yes.
So you just have to
Well,
show
I
it's
was
photo.
What about working with like, I remember we were taking care of you firemen.
On the
and so
Staten
we
Island
were
side
on
of
the
the
Staten
story.
Island side,
Because they
feeding and, running on, so nothing, no
No.
transfer from that.
But you were down at Ground Zero.
Yeah.
And then you went to Staten Island.
Yeah.
But then you came back to Ground Zero.
Oh, yeah.
And then you went back to Staten Island.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as you were at Ground Zero,
Yeah, I just figured
it doesn't even matter.
transfer too. but
So
it's just-
anything south of Houston or Canal, depending on who you are, to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Here's the map.
There's the map.
I can show you the dust cloud.
So I live all the way over here. So this is so you guys know, I live here. I live on Long Island, so this means nothing to me. Go ahead.
The dust cloud. That's basically what that map shows. We're gonna go back. Okay, how's this one? Go with this?
No, we're good. Yeah. Wait, anybody work at the morgue?
Yeah, we did the dump here on
But
Staten
it doesn't
Island.
matter anyway because you all confirmed that you would first day 4 hours, so you already met that criteria. Survivors, very important. This is for you, young lady. Okay, Brian, read that to her.
World Trade Center survivors include individuals present in the dust or dust cloud in New York City disaster area, which is what that map was basically. It'll be on the next slide. South of Houston Street and the northwest corner of Brooklyn, right along the water edge. Individuals who worked, resided, or attended school, childcare, or adult daycare in the New York City disaster area from 9/11/2001 to January 10th, 2002. That had to be 4 days during that period. 30 days during the period of 9/11/2001 until July 31st, 2002. Individuals who worked as a cleanup worker or performed maintenance work in the New York City disaster area from 9/11/2001 until January 10th, 2002 and had extensive exposure to World Trade Center dust as a result of doing your job.
Nobody's. It doesn't matter anybody. You got all of that,
Yep.
though, right? You're good. Doesn't he have a nasally voice? Next one.
So once again, we've gone a few times. You can just kind of figure out this is where the dust cloud was, and this was the part of Brooklyn that they were speaking of.
But again, you'll see south of Houston compared to south of Canal. But again, you guys all met the first criteria, so it's kind of redundant. Go ahead.
When you were going back and forth, were you on the ferry or were you on the
We took the
ambulance?
ferry. I'm the ambulance, I mean,
So you're covered right here because this is the
yeah.
ferry slip.
Oh, no, we walked right into the,
And the landfill counts too, so. you're
yeah,
covered,
I
yeah,
took both.
Program benefits. Brian.
My favorite number in this slide is the number 0. When you go to the doctor's office right now, if we used our own medical insurance, we have a copay. What's everybody's copay? Like 25, 30, 50 bucks. Being in the World Trade Center Health Program, since we are now covered under the Zadroga bill, I don't have to pay out of pocket to go see the doctor. If I have surgery, my surgery in 2016 cost $71,000. I went to Mount Sinai, had sinus surgery. I didn't have to pay a penny for anything. The only thing I had to pay was for parking. But for me, that was worth it. Beats paying $71,000.
So you see what the program provides, the medical tests, the doctor visits, the surgery, prescription drugs. But here's the thing. You guys are going to go to the Staten Island clinic. And you're going to get an appointment, whether it's in 2 or 3 weeks from now. Then you're going to have to wait another 2 or 3 weeks for those test results to come back. So it's not what you're diagnosed with. It's what you're certified with. And that's the most important thing you got to know. So you can go get your physical, and it's head to toe, and it's very extensive. It's a breathing test, it's a urine work, it's blood work, it's a chest X-ray, and it's a psych valve. Did I get everything?
That's just what is done during the screening visit.
Right.
But what I just wanted to add to all this will be covered if you're certified for certain conditions.
Right.
So you don't have to be diagnosed by the hospital, by the program. You
Right.
could have been diagnosed outside on Sinai.
Correct.
As long as you can provide with records.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna get to that.
This is being submitted for certification.
So look,
And once your certification becomes approved, then you
Yes.
cover it for medications, for equipment, for oxygen.
who's
tanks,
got
for-
pre-existing health conditions? Bring your medical records with you. So when you go for your initial physical, bring those records with you, because it's only gonna help them expedite you to get you into the program, into the system, and then you're illness certified. So when the time you're certified, again, not diagnosed, you can be diagnosed with 22 different illnesses. It's the ones that they say, yes, 9/11 caused this. Okay? You have 2 years to file a claim with the VCF. That's what Richie will explain to you in a little while. Then you can file a claim and get compensated for your illnesses. Okay? Go ahead.
Best thing about this, prescription drugs. My drugs come every 3 months in a little box in the mail, so I get Christmas 4 times a year. You don't have to go to the CVS, you don't have to call and fight for who's gonna pay it, it's gonna come. And right here, making everybody feel better, these are the perks of the entire program.
So today in the mail, you guys all know what lidocaine patches are? I don't take meds. I just don't believe in putting chemicals in my body. Plus, I'm a kidney donor. But today in the mail, I got 6 months worth of pain patches. So, like when I go home tonight, I just lay them all out on the floor and I roll naked on them. and I can go to bed and rest easy knowing that I'm all lidocained up. Okay?
The rest of us have to suffer. You can sleep easy today.
Well, hey,
Thinking of that, the rest
shoot
of us
me an
will
email, I'll send you a lidocaine patch.
suffer.
And again, I just went through all of that with the certification, so we can bypass that. How is the condition certified? We went through all that. And again, listen, this is very important. You're going to go into this, and you're going to go to a 2 or 3 hour physical. Be prepared for that, okay? Very important.
I don't mean to interject. What if you had a complete physical within 6 months?
Good for you.
It's not
Means
applicable,
nothing.
like a stress test, a full cardio. You're gonna give it
Bring
all
those
out
records
again.
with you, but you're still going through their
Okay.
system.
No,
and
I
their
just, I would rather save time for anybody.
No. And again, their listen, a doctor that you go to now is great. They're trained in what they do. But these doctors at these clinics, whether it's on Staten Island or Stony Brook on Long Island or Mount Sinai in the city, they now have 14, 15, 16 years of expertise in environmental diseases. These are the best of the best. These people come highly recommended from all over the world. All right, so you're going to go through that again. And they know what they're looking for. A normal doctor that you went to would just look at your
Well,
blood.
I'm saying, like, I just went for a normal heart.
Right.
I'm not, nothing's wrong with my heart.
Right, that's good.
So why would double that?
Well, you know,
test?
listen, I have my own physician. I still go to my own physical for my private doctor. But every year I go for my physical. So here's the other thing. Let's say you went into the program. Nothing's wrong with you. Obviously, you guys actually have illnesses, but just say nothing's wrong with you. You would still go back every year for your physical. They would keep in touch with you. And God forbid something is wrong the following year, it's that much easier because you're already now in the system. I go every year religiously, October 31st, for my physical. I don't miss that day. And yeah, I get a little carte blanche treatment because I'm John Feal, yada, yada, yada. But they know I want it at 9 o'clock, I want to get out of there at 12 o'clock, and this is the day I chose. And I can rest easy knowing that they just went through my whole body. And I want to know if I'm going to be sick. I just want to know. I'm not, that person that doesn't want to know. Go ahead. What conditions are covered under the program? Rich, you want to read that one?
Any kind of airway or respiratory illness that you can imagine is pretty much covered. Most common, I'll give you asthma with our clients, interstitial lung disease, the 9/11 cough, they call it a cough syndrome, upper airway hyperactivity, it covers pretty much everything. Rhinosinusitis, one of the most common, laryngitis, GERD, almost every one of our clients, regardless of what they also have GERD, and obstructive sleep apnea.
Who's got asthma? Anybody? So explain it better. I think you're going to explain it like, say if you were diagnosed with asthma in 2014, you're really not going to get that covered under the World Trade Center Health Program. You've had to have been treated for asthma back in 2002 and 3 and 4. You know what I'm saying? Anybody get diagnosed with cancer before 2005? Because the latency period is September of 2005. You had to have gotten cancer after 2005. Okay? But there are just certain illnesses that if you didn't get in the first couple of years, they're just not going to be covered down the road. Yeah, all of a sudden, you know. So just keep that in mind.
And there's a few cancers that have a shorter latency period, like leukemia and some lymphomas. So it's, but that's usually, 2005. And people get upset and they say, well, why? I mean, I know I got my cancer as a result of, being exposed. Because they had to come up with some defined line, the science behind it of the latency period of a cancer, which can normally take, like you said at the beginning of the night, 10, 20, 30 years. And here we're getting it done after 4 or 5 years, which is kind of remarkable. So.
We got to start all over.
She just came for the donut.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Grab a seat, please.
Okay.
We'll wait for you.
Okay.
10-second timeout. Ma'am, before the end of the night, I'll make sure you have all this information, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Rich.
PTSD. I'd say I have to stand up for this one because when the last 9 years of my career was the political and legislative director for the Fire Officers Union. So that's how I met John, and we were fighting to get this legislation passed. I never focused on PTSD. I didn't suffer from PTSD. I only had limited experience with it. Now, being on the law side, I would say that 80 to 90% of the clients that we deal with have some form of PTSD. It's an epidemic, and the Victims' Compensation Fund doesn't compensate for PTSD because it's physical illnesses only. But one of the greatest features, and I'm glad they're spending so much time on the health program, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into fighting to get this legislation passed. And it's really, for me, even though I work for a law firm, it's all about the health program. And people are out there that are struggling. And if you know anybody, or if you yourself are dealing with this, you have to share that information with the health program. They have great psychological resources. I can't emphasize that enough. John deals with it.
So, before everybody after 9/11 got diagnosed with post-traumatic, technically I might have been the first person diagnosed with post-traumatic. So after I got hurt, and I spent 9 days in Bellevue, I developed gangrene. Then I went to North Shore University in Long Island, where I had about 30 surgeries. But during that, they brought in the doctors who diagnosed me with post-traumatic right away. Other than cancer, and any 9/11 illness is serious, I take post-traumatic most serious. 4 doctors diagnosed me with post-traumatic. They told me I was batshit crazy. And maybe they're right. But here's the thing. Post-traumatic is going to be the #1 killer of 9/11 responders. #1. And it might not show it on the autopsy, but it will be the #1. So, physically and mentally, the stress on the body does not allow your immune system to fight the illnesses that you have from 9/11. You're compromised. So you got to take this serious. And when you go for your physical, you're going to get a psych test to see if you are diagnosed with post-traumatic. And like Richie said, it's not compensatable. You can thank Congress for that. You suck. But that's just the way the bill was written. But you can at least get the health care. You can get the counseling. You can get the medications. And listen, when I left the hospital in 2002, I have not taken a pill since. This is my therapy. I'm joking around with you guys tonight, but I joke around because I've been to 178 funerals. 9 of them I paid for because families couldn't afford to bury me. I joke around with Brian because I'm taller than him. All right, but we joke around. We joke around because we mask our own pain. That's how we deal. But don't think for 1 second that we don't take the post-traumatic. It's as serious as the cancers. Okay. What conditions are covered under the program? Anybody break a bone down there? Musculoskeletal. Bad back. Okay, but was your back being treated back then? No. So if you're going to complain about a bad back in 2016, they're just gonna say no. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I just want to add real quick something to the mental health conditions. All the information that you guys providing us and filling out the forms is confidential. It will not be released to your work, to your family, unless you give us the permission. And I've been dealing with patients that are coming and they simply lie on the forms because they're afraid that we will send this to the job. So there's absolutely, especially mental health, is we keep this charts totally separate from your
So
physical.
what Ben is saying is everything is HIPAA protected. Anything that's shared is, you're given permission to share it. Nothing will get ever, nothing will ever get shared unless you say yes. That's what she means. Mulling it, back, plasm stuff, doohickey. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. You'll see all of those illnesses under there. Bridget, you want to read those out?
68 different cancers.
This is from Richie Alley's. So you're not going to sit here and read them all. At least you can take this home and, God forbid, something come up later. You do have a copy of all the cancers. That's easily read for everybody here tonight.
John, when did they start saying that cancer was from 9/11? When was it officially, did they wait the 10 years like the textbook says? Or
2011 it was added.
Okay, because the textbook says it takes 10 years for a cancer to go.
Well, it depends on the cancer.
Correct, but
They had there was a doctor in the New York City Fire Department, Dr. Dave Kazan.
yeah,
And fortunately, what the fire department does is that they had a population of people that were tracked
right.
before, during, and after their time on the job.
Right.
So they were able to fast track a lot of the documentation, and if they didn't have this pool of people to use as a test
Yeah.
sample, then it would have been years and years and years later, just like the numbers that you just threw out. So that was advantageous.
Well, at the time, I'm an oncology nurse, and I happened to be in radiation oncology, and I happened to be taking care of a lot of leukemia, the transplants. And when you radiate somebody for that total body radiation, you get to know the people because it's twice a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Wipe them out. So the stories I heard, and they were there, but they didn't survive to do this. And it was a lot sooner, and and it was all the suits, mayor's office,
Sure.
all the suits came.
Well, I don't want to scare everybody.
But it was back in the day, and all I said to my doctors would tell me, no, it can't be. I said, talk to them.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I said, but all the dogs died. Their noses were red.
Yeah. Listen,
So, I said,
when
the amount
we
of
were
stuff.
walking the halls of Congress and we were talking to members of Congress or the Senate, the absorption through the nose, mouth, and skin of these toxins individually, if you put each one in a bottle,
Yeah,
you'd have a skull with crossbones saying consult a physician as well, right?
sure.
Now you had a toxic soup that no doctors have seen. We ate there, we slept there, we cried there, we went to the bathroom there. Some people probably did other things there,
Yeah,
but they were exposed.
yeah.
And it wasn't us just and they told us in the beginning that we were making this up. We're not sick. It's all in our head. And it was the most insulting thing, but we kept focused. But they did choose a latency period of September 2005 for most cancers, unless you have a blood cancer, that's rare. But this is what nobody else talks about. And this is coming. And mark my words, because I'm never wrong. I haven't been wrong since like 1988. And I think I was drunk. Here, we're on the cusp of the asbestos cancers.
Oh, there you go.
And I guarantee, sadly, I predict a quarter to a third of the 9/11 community
We'll have it.
gets asbestos cancer. And while that's not going to kill you right away,
No.
it's going to be an agonizing the rest of your life because it is a debilitating illness. But everybody was exposed to that. That means 83,000 people in the World Trade Center Health Program. I guarantee 30,000 get asbestos cancer. That's sad. And that asbestos cancer will take what, 10, 20, 25, 30 years to manifest. And again, you weren't here for it. The average age on 9/11 is 39 years old. Now you're looking at 55, 56 years on average. So now as you get older, your immune system's not as strong as it was when you were 35, right? So You know, everything's against us. Hence why you need to get into the
What
program.
about the kids?
And the kids now too.
No, the kids that were
There was
there.
11 schools in that.
I know,
Yeah,
so then-
but those kids are now getting into the program. Michael's firm's representing dozens and dozens of them.
Yeah.
You know.
There would be like a subgroup to watch because they're gonna be here longer than us just due to the fact that they're little.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Can't talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're trying to find that population though, because these kids, you know, they've all gone to college and relocated in various parts of the country, and it's
Well,
it's
so
a battle of
here's
getting-
the
Well, what ticks me off is the boundaries, because I'll tell you right now, I know a nurse that had 200 people that had them down on Bay Street cleaning eyes
Yeah.
on the thing, and they're out of the boundaries. She says to me, I don't know who to talk to
I know
because
that.
we're out of the
So,
boundaries.
there's 435 congressional districts in the United States. 433 were represented at Ground Zero.
Yeah.
So John Smith, who went to Ground Zero, spent a week there or a month there, went home to Minnesota.
Right.
John Smith, local doctor, was also the mayor. And, you know, the doctor's office was behind the post office. He dies. They don't know why. They can't put the two and two together. You know, we've traveled the country now, talking to responders in Texas, Florida, North Carolina, California, Chicago, trying to get them into the program. There's now over 83,000 people in the program.
But this was a group of 200
Sure.
people on Staten Island, and it was over Canal Street or whatever, whoever
Right.
made those stupid
John,
boundaries.
question on that. Does that go into the national program,
But,
what she's mentioning?
no.
No.
They just missed they actually missed the map, which we just showed you,
That's-
south of Canal or south of Houston. They're missing the geographic.
But when they brought the dogs over and the guys to wash their eyes and stuff, and
Right.
actually one of my girlfriends actually died right on target. 10 years and 5 years dead. And she was down there cleaning up.
And here's the other thing you gotta tell people.
That's why.
You know, we'll advocate for anybody, whether it's getting them into the program, get them a VCF claim. If they have an issue, we'll yell at the law firm, we'll yell at the clinic. But we also advocate to get their workers' comp, their social security, their pensions. We're in the process of changing the nicest pension system and bringing them to a complete halt. No one's ever done that before. But what I tell people is they gotta become their own advocates. So when somebody goes into the World Trade Center Health Program and tries to, and then they say, well, no, because you didn't meet this criteria, never take no for an answer until no becomes the final answer. And that's how we live our lives. We have dealt with no for the last 16 years that it's now, what? No? What does that mean?
So she has 200 names and addresses and contacts.
Well, we'd like to talk to her.
Okay,
If you can get me her contact,
okay.
here is my card.
I got your card.
All right, and I will make sure that I talk to them,
Because I
sit
know-
down with them.
I know one of them was my friend.
All right, I'll even bring Richie with me. He can't wear a suit then.
You don't have to.
I came from work.
We're from Staten Island.
Just so you guys know, out of the 83,000 people that are in the program now across the country, about 55, 56 are in the New York tri-state area, but over 7,000 people now have a certified 9/11 cancer. So this is not something that you take lightly, okay? Very important, here we go. You guys can all write affidavits for each other. You were all there together, right? You were the boss, right?
No, I run here. We were together, he's my partner at the time, so.
All right, so to get in the World Trade Center Health Program, you need one affidavit signed and notarized. To get in a VCF claim, you need two. That means you do her, she does you do him, like that. All right? Two, notarized. Whatever you do moving forward, if you're sick and you're going into the program, bring your medical records. Get the affidavits. Also, whatever you do, make copies. Because it's the federal government, not the people. Never take it out on the people, it's the system. Federal government has a tendency to lose things or say they never received something. Or a large law firm might say they didn't receive something. Not saying the individual, I'm saying the system. And again, this goes back to advocating for yourself. Technically, they work for you. And that's how you have to approach that relationship. You get into the program, they're treating you, they work for you. You file a claim, they're gonna get you money, they work for you. So treat it like that. You don't have to be so, can you please help me? We created this system. Let's put it this way. after 9/11, nobody ever apologized to the 9/11 community. Nobody ever said, hey, sorry guys, we were wrong about this one. But yet they created all of these centers of excellence to treat us. That's their way of saying sorry. If we weren't sick and they didn't apologize, then why'd they do it? Let me play devil's advocate. Why? Right? So they work for us, and that's the mindset you gotta have. Anything else? Anybody got badge? You guys get badges when you're down there? Yeah. So the badge is great, pictures are great, but not great by themselves. The affidavits are going to be what's needed and required. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay?
And sometimes people try to show us, I took these pictures and stuff, unless you're in the picture,
Yeah.
they're useless.
I got a great picture of me. Probably-
Yeah. And again, you can attach that.
I'm white.
It's
I'm
helpful.
as dark as I am. I was white. Head to toe, they'll show you.
You're not that dog.
No, I'm dark.
So the picture's great, but attach it to the affidavit.
Absolutely.
Good?
With these papers, they're very important. Put them in your safe when you're done sending them. Put them somewhere where you know that they're going to be and they're not going to get destroyed.
If I'm filling out paperwork for Barish and McGarry, or for the Staten Island Clinic, I'm also having my own set of paperwork for me. Because I know me. So at home, just because I had 39 surgeries, well 38 because one's elective, I have like this thick. But my lawyer has the same stack, my doctors have the same stack, and I can reference October of 2009 or July of 2013, and I have everything chronologically ordered. And you're going to go through a lot of medical testing, and you're going to speak to a lawyer, and you're going to, you're going to have good days and bad days. That's just the way it is. That's called life. Okay?
And on the, one more thing with the affidavits, there are some people in the unfortunate position, they were working for a company that's no longer there anymore, right? They went out of business. It's 16 years later. People that they worked with, they can't find them. They may have a name, or they're no longer alive anymore. As a last resort, we can request a presence hearing where you'd be there before an attorney on the other side of the fence with the Victims' Compensation Fund, and the attorney for Barish and McGarry would argue the case about, proving your presence. A lot of things can be documented, can be found out that companies did exist, that people did exist, and if they make a strong enough case, they do get accepted.
Does your company still exist?
So just because someone cannot get two affidavits, it's not.
So if you can't get an affidavit from an employee, employer, colleague, a spouse can do one. So if you were married on 9/11, the husband and wife can say, yes, I saw my husband and wife leave, come home covered in dust. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So this way, you're covered there. So keep that in mind.
What
Next.
about my W-2 that'll work here? Can I bring that?
Yes, those help too. Those are very good.
Okay,
And
because I have that, you know.
Payroll.
payroll works. Pay stubs, payroll, all of that stuff works. The badge.
Those are the things nobody ever saves, so that's.
Yeah. Listen, if you're saving that, you're a hoarder. Okay?
I have the first
No, that's
income tax I
hey,
ever
no.
filled.
Yeah. Listen, if you were there at the September, so on September 15th, if you were working on the pile, you got a badge. So, the badges are great, but if you never got a badge, don't worry about it. But those who are fortunate enough to get a badge, it's really something we just put in a frame now because it means nothing. It means you got sick. With so many illnesses,
I know.
but I think there's going to be the ones that are permanent, the rheumatoid arthritis. I think those are ones that will be covered under autoimmune.
Right.
And that's coming. And my prediction is by the end of this year. Lupus, a lot.
But they said it's either hereditary or from trauma. And
Right.
I have no lupus in my family.
So,
none of that.
most 9/11 illnesses are either hereditary or you were exposed to toxins. So when you take your physical and fill out paperwork for 4 hours, they'll ask you hereditary questions and they'll ask were you exposed to toxins. You know?
And like John said, when you get out of the tri-state area, unfortunately, it's hit and miss. I talk to people from across the country, and if I'm talking to somebody in Indiana and they're in LHI, I ask them right away, how's the health program working for you? And it runs the gamut. It's whatever facility that LHI has contracted with. I talked to somebody in Los Angeles, they absolutely love the health program, it's working great. Somebody in Wisconsin, maybe they tell me a different story. Somebody in Tennessee, they love it. It's just, so no rhyme or reason. I mean, so we're very fortunate at least to still be
But
here.
here's the other thing. The responder, the survivor, one could be having a bad day, two can have a serious illness, and three, they can have a 10-minute drive or an hour and a half drive. And you got to weigh in all those factors when somebody gives their opinion of a medical staff. Yeah, you know. Yeah. I mean, that's again.
Okay, all right, go ahead, so.
Next. Yeah, that's the national program. I think we just all covered that. All right, next. For more information, don't call Jim. Trust me. Jim works for me. He's a retired cop. Keep going. Keep going. Go back to Jim. See that number on the bottom? Don't call it. Better come up here.
Oh, yeah.
No, come on. Come on.
Come on, Better.
Come on. Everybody's got a pen, right? Everybody's gonna write something down.
Let's see.
You got a pen?
Does anybody need a pen? We'll go find them. Does anybody need a pen? Everybody has one?
I'm scared now. I don't know who James is.
No, James works for me. He's my director of Alright, so here's the thing. To get into the program, you're supposed to call NIOSH, their number. And I get yelled at all the time by NIOSH. But when I talk to a group, whether it's a small group or a large group, it's got to be intimate for me. I don't give out the 800 number. I think that's impersonal. And it's just me giving you a number and then leaving and saying, good luck, the rest of your lives, I don't care. So I give NIOSH and the DOJ have assigned one person to me because I'm a pain in the ass. So with that being said, yes. But here's the beauty thing. You can go through better, correct me if I'm wrong, just to go right to the Staten Island, and you can register them. Or they can go through NIOSH.
I think NIOSH still does the official
Right.
registry.
Right.
And then the call center is taking care of the qualification, meaning that they will
Where's your
ask
clinic?
you-
What's the address?
The clinic?
Yeah.
It's right on Richmond Road.
You guys all know what that is? Richmond Road? Because that's where you'll be going.
All the addresses are in the booklets.
Alright, so
All the clinic.
I'm going to give you two numbers to call from NIOSH. The first one, her name is Brittany. She's the one assigned to me. Brittany's 404-498-1594. But Brittany's being trained on something until Friday. So her supervisor, who used to be assigned to me, who moved up in the world, her name is Keisha. She's 404-498-2529. Call either one or both. Say John Feal from the Feel Good Foundation gave me a number. I need to get enrolled into the program. And John said, if you get their voicemail, and just say John said he promises not to be a pain in the ass if you call me back in an ample amount of time. But with that being said, you guys can call the Staten Island clinic, and the Staten Island clinic technically should have somebody that enrolls, right? I mean,
No, Manhattan has it, the call center.
the Manhattan.
Yes, the 212. It's 212-241-1554. That's the number to our
Can you
call
say that
center.
number again?
212-241.
212-241-1555.
Says that a lot better than you do.
Yeah, what do you got?
Keisha's last four digits.
1554.
Keisha is 2529.
We called Staten Island, they said we have to go to Manhattan. We can't go to Staten Island.
Well, if you live in Staten Island, you're going to Staten Island.
Absolutely not. If you register with the program, you can choose the clinic you want to go to, which is now Mount Sinai.
When we called up, they told me no, I had to go.
You,
My husband-
unfortunately, are going to Bellevue.
To Bellevue, yes.
Oh, my husband told me, unfortunately. I have to go down.
I actually
Yeah.
started out.
Or you can go to Gouverneurs Island. Right? Survivors go to Gouverneurs too. And I believe you can go Bellevue, Gouverneurs Island, or Elmhurst. No. So you're best off going to Bellevue. And whatever you do, take the train or a cab, do not park there.
They don't have any other facility for,
Survivors, no. Not yet.
on Staten Island?
No.
Yeah, see, that's my husband has
addition, and it's such a hassle.
Did your husband file a VCF claim?
Well, we filed a while ago.
Yeah.
Do you have an attorney? Who? Charlie Hanson Rosado?
They're girls that call. Turkey, I think it's Turkey agency. But we just spoke to them today. He has a certification, my husband, from the summer, and was waiting almost a whole year, and they're still not done.
Yeah, well, the whole process takes a year. But if you go past a year, it's no longer the DOJ or the VCS fault. It's the incompetence of a lawyer. Listen, I don't associate with law firms that do not do the right thing. So Richie's boss, Michael Barish, he represents 10,000 clients. He has a team of about 70 people that just do VCF claims.
See, they said last year that it would take another 2 years when he got the certification last summer.
No.
And now we called today, and they said it would take at least maybe another year with that.
No. Well, listen, if you get rid of your lawyer, you never have to talk to him again. Your new lawyer just takes the case and talks to that lawyer for you.
Yeah.
Okay? But I'm not going to tell you what to do. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Actually, it's really more for Mr. Isles, you know.
Go ahead.
I'm not happy with who's representing me. Is it difficult to be able to switch?
Okay, so I'm going to explain this again. In the beginning, in 2010, we got the bill passed. True story. From the time we got the bill passed, there were ads going up in the newspapers and the radio stations for representing 9/11 responders. First words out of my mouth was, the ink's not even dry on the bill yet. Before anybody, any elected official, any union leader, anybody, the DOJ had me come to DC. And I sat down with about 10 DOJ lawyers, and they picked my brains for about 8.5 hours. And then I said, the next time I come back, I'm going to bring a series of law firms with me. And there was about 10 law firms. Since then, I've probably knocked it down to that I only work with about 3 or 4 law firms. Every law firm who thought that they were going to get 10% of your award because it wasn't that hard to work. But here's the thing. It is hard work. To do it right, to make sure that you get the most, what you deserve, this is the rest of your life.
Right.
The federal government really doesn't care that much about you. And that's why you want a law firm or a lawyer who's going to best represent you and get you the most you can, because again, this is the rest of your life.
Right.
And you get a determination of terminal,
Well, I was told 2 years ago that I have 3 years, actually 2.5.
Yeah.
We can expedite the case.
So your VCF claim should have been expedited. Gotta call my, listen, whoever's going to file a claim, you need to talk to Richie tonight. It's that important. Whoever's gonna get into the World Trade Center Health Program, you can talk to Betty, she's right there. Because there's a good chance you're gonna run into her. She's an amazing woman, they got a great clinic. And here's the other thing, there are certain clinics that suck. And that's where we come in and we let them know that they suck. And then things get fixed.
And what you, excuse me, sorry.
I understand, I hear you. And they're not the only one.
Yeah.
Garden City. So, shit happens. And again, the complaints that you guys make only help us get things changed. So like if I have to make a phone call to a law firm or a doctor or a clinic, I'm not calling them to say, hey, let's play 9, let's get a cup of coffee. I'm calling them because we have a legitimate complaint. Now, there are, and Richie will vouch for this, there are perpetual complainers in the 9/11 community. If it's raining, they're pissed off, you know? Or if their medications were 1 day late in the mail. Here's another thing, a lot of your meds get mailed to your house. You'll never have to go to the pharmacy for some of your meds. Go ahead.
My name's Alan Grandy. I was a first responder to the Trade Center. I'm enrolled in the program. I was a plumber with New York City Transit Authority. This actually is a picture that I take with me down to Washington, D.C. in the Staten Island dance, September 14, 2001. I don't like to brag, but this places me. Just to give you an insight, what John's been mentioning about, this is my badge that I had. This plus this puts me there. These are my credentials that I speak about when John is speaking about everything, having all your information at hand. Because who knows what you had for lunch 2 years ago, let alone what you had 6 months ago. And for me personally, John Feal has been an advocate for everybody in this country, hands down, hands down. He's been an advocate for everybody. And it's unfortunate that he has been going through what he went through. And everybody's here on just trying to help anybody, you know, who needs the help. And I've been on that program since 2002. Me personally, I feel like the red carpet rolls out. That's just me personally. I've said it time in and time out. Annually, it's in the very beginning, it's on an annual, it's 3 hours and change maybe on an annual. And if they find any information on you, then you hand it off to your personal doctors. That's on the literature that I get. And then I take it to my doctors and they follow up with it. And that's what I personally been doing. You know, everybody has their own story. I many years, several years backwards, had called the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. And I was talking to somebody in the office there. And what happened was, this will make sense in a second. What happened was, I was explaining about a specific situation. I said I was the first responder to the Trade Center. I said, I don't want to take anything out of context, but there was many thousands of people there. I said, to put this in context, do you like the Giants and the Jets? She goes, well, I like the Giants and so forth. I said, in the very beginning, when they're in any game, when they're turning around and flipping a coin on a coin toss, and that camera's panning around the stadium, that's 80,000 people. That to anybody puts the picture to the whole storyline. 80,000. This is what this men and women have been doing. The Mount Sinai program is fantastic. I am on it. And that's what John is advocating. And I was a plumber with New York City Transit. I was underneath that old site. Came out of 14th and 6th. Transit had 2 miles trucks going in the aftermath. That's just my story. Fire department has their own story. They went through hoops upon hoops, just like the police department. Everybody has their own stories. And just share them. I'm logged in with the 9/11 Museum. And that's all I'm saying to you. John Feal is traveling the country, advocating for people. That's just my story, but thank you.
I'm banned from most airlines now. Yeah, they got a flight thing that I'm not even allowed on them. No.
Just say, does anybody want to come to Florida with me for our next one?
You guys have any questions? So you all know what you got to do tomorrow. Don't wait till next week or 2 weeks later. If your illnesses are that serious, you get into the program. Talk to Richie. Here's the other thing. Don't wait to get into the program and get certified and then go and file your claim. You're gonna do them together. You don't want that overlap. You're gonna talk to Richie tonight. Richie's gonna help set you up. So when you do get certified, the process is already started. Don't let the overlap happen. God forbid something happens during that overlap, then you're poop out of luck. Well, most people say shit, but I didn't know if the camera's on, so.
Camera's on.
Oh, shit.
I'm live streaming on Facebook, so, I mean, is that okay? Thank you very much.
Just a couple of points. John covered most of the stuff that I would have covered. But he touched on a really important point before, and that's because I work for a law firm. I don't work on commission, and I get calls all the time from colleagues and from people in the 9/11 community. I advocate to always use a law firm, you know, a good law firm, to advocate for you and work on a case for a lousy 10%. This is personal injury, and the running fee is 30 to 35%. I get calls from people. You can go on the VCF website, and it leads you to believe that you fill out a few forms and all, and that's it. You basically wait online. It's not. And even if you're successful and navigate the system and actually get to the end and get a settlement offer, they have a tendency to lowball you. So how do you know that you're getting compensated what you should? You don't know. And then what do you do if they're lowballing you? Now you have to appeal, in which case you want an attorney and you wasted all of this time because, you know, a really good law firm like, you know, Barrish McGarry or, you know, some of the other ones that are there would have already fought for you and probably gotten you the highest award possible. So that's really important. I wanted to just, again, the dividing line, that south of Houston Street, that tip of Brooklyn Heights for the health program, and south of Canal Street for the Victims Compensation Fund, right? So you know somebody that was north of Canal but south of Houston Street, the health program is really critically important.
housing is for the survivors.
For the survivors, yeah.
Yeah, and canals for
Well,
the
your
responders.
first responders, you know, you were gonna be there, so the first responders only gonna, and residents actually.
Well, yeah, but you know, a lot of people that a lot have come forward and said they were first responders and they worked 4 blocks away.
Now Michael Barish's law firm has been around for over 40 years. He was personal injury, had mostly police and fire, cops and firemen get hurt all the time. So when 9/11 came, he actually lost a lot of clients. Nobody could have foreseen the health effects of all this. So basically what Michael did was he divided his firm and went from a firm of 20 to having just 10 personal injury attorneys, 10 other personal injury attorneys, and then expanding to 70 on the World Trade Center side. So it's a team of staff, paralegals, and attorneys that are absolutely kick-ass. And thousands of clients, and they're very happy. And the process, if you're not happy with your attorney, it's a very simple process to stream over to another law firm. You don't even have to deal with that law firm, because I know it can be awkward, right? You've been talking to somebody, maybe even arguing with somebody. What do? When you go to the other law firm, they will take care of all that, and as John said, they'll work out compensation between them, not with you. It's still going to be 10%. So somebody's getting some percentage of that, and somebody's getting the other percentage of that. So don't worry about that.
Let me ask you a question. Are you in the eligibility phase or the compensation phase?
Actually, honestly, I have no idea, to be honest with you. Because they haven't, you know, yeah, they had very little communication
Yeah,
with
see,
me.
I mean, again, you know, listen, we joke around about that, but here's the thing. And again, I don't care about doctors, lawyers, nurses. They all go home to their families and their kids with a paycheck. They all go home and put food on the table, not worry. Well, some do. But 9/11 responders, again, this is the rest of your life. This is what you're going to leave to your kids. This is what you're going to leave to your wife. This is where you leave your legacy, not only as a hero that you are on 9/11, but yet you were able to provide for your family. So if the law firm that's representing you or it doesn't sense your urgency and doesn't show the humanity that you seek and just a little respect, then you already made up your mind. You don't need me to tell you what to do.
Right.
But I can tell you how long something should take and who you could blame it on. And then, listen, you can only blame it on yourself for being lazy or complacent. Then you can blame it on the law firm for missing paperwork or being incompetent and taking on too much than they can handle. Or you can blame it on the VCF for losing paperwork and being stone cold with no feelings. So it's easy to really predict where your problem lies, and you've already explained enough to know where your problem lies. So, again, how old are you?
46.
You're 46? You snot-nosed kid. God, I'm 51 years old.
The most common
I
cancer
know, I
is
don't
going to
look
be
it though.
skin cancer. Why? Because the pH level of the toxic air had the consistency of Drano. It's got nothing to do with skin tone and exposure to the sun. And then on the man side, it's the prostate cancer, and with the women, it's breast cancer.
vaginal, which is weird.
That's
And
weird.
I didn't know anything. This is all coming to me now, like, holy shit. And I can't even say that I was there for months. I wasn't. They know.
That doesn't matter. Everybody's immune system's different.
Exactly.
So, listen, I know people that were there for a day and are dead. I know people that were there for 10 months
Yeah.
and they're completely healthy.
Yeah, it's
So,
really
you know,
only God knows.
take the bill out of equation. If we all had individual lawsuit cases, I would be the world's best attorney. Because I would turn to the jury and say, jury, you're reasonable people. Everybody's immune system's different. Thank you. Have a great day. I'm a great attorney. Boom.
Correct.
Love you all.
And also the presumption.
But we have a bill here that we have to, listen, we follow the guidelines, we follow the rules, but there are guidelines and rules that can be stretched a little. And there are sometimes common sense helps move the goal line a little. So while we always have things stacked against us, if we're able to show something's not right, and while it looks good on paper to Congress or the centers of excellence or the law firms, sometimes common sense dictates how things get done. And sometimes we just break it down and make it simple for everybody.
And the breaking news, probably the most important thing I'll say tonight, that's in the letter here.
That I'm running for Congress.
That yeah, well, he's been talking about that for years, so, you know, talk is cheap. A major flaw in the law was repaired years ago. If you were diagnosed with an illness, 9/11 related illness, you had 2 years in which to file a claim. So invariably, we get a call from somebody that said, I just found out about this victims compensation fund. I didn't know anything about it. I had prostate cancer in 2007. Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. The law was changed to 2 years from certification. That very same person, and thank God that the law firm, we kept track of all of these people. We were able to go back to people and say, go to the health program, you get that illness, if it's a cancer or respiratory illness, certified, and from the date of certification, you have 2 years in which to file a claim. So it's an important safety protection in the law for everybody. And you know, a lot of people don't file, and then there's a couple of reasons why. Somebody says, I'm not a first responder. We know that's not true because it's survivors and it's for residents.
And volunteers.
How do I prove the link with my illness? You don't have to. You prove your presence. The law is presumptive. I wasn't there long enough. We went over the hours. If you're there on September 11th, you only have to show 1 hour. If it's from September 12th, this is important, so I want you actually should write this down so you have it in case you want to share with me. September 12th to the 14th, you only have to show 4 hours. From September 15th to September 30th, 24 hours. And if the first time that you were there was October 1st, all the way through until the end of May of 2002, it would be 80 hours. And then for survivors, yeah, July, I think they requested July. But most people have enough by that time.
If elected Congress, I will make sure everybody gets milk and cookies.
What kind of cookies?
And this is something I deal with the fire guys, is that I don't want to take from others. And this was a big misconception with people, that if, you know, hey, gee, I only have asthma, and, you know, I know somebody that has kidney cancer, I don't want to take from that family. Every case is decided on its own individual merits. So $1 to you is not $1 less to somebody else. There's always going to be somebody else in worse shape and more deserving. So that's not a reason why.
Well, let me just touch why you should file now. Very important why you should file a claim. In 2015, in December, when we got the bill extended for 75 years on the healthcare side, it got signed into law on January 2nd of 2016. We now have 73.5 years of free healthcare. But we only got 5 years on the VCF. That means we only have 2.5 years. That means in 2020, we're going back to DC to get that extended. I'm confident, I'm certain, I'll bet my one kidney that we get it renewed. But anything can happen with Congress. We can get into a world war, whatever, who knows. So you should file that claim now. Because if you wait till 2020, it might not be there.
And last thing is, I don't want to waive future rights. So somebody that has something, they're not dealing with cancer, they're dealing, you know, with skin cancer or asthma, something like that. What if I file? Can I file again if I come down, God forbid, with something else?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
You can always make an amendment to your claim. So if you're in the program and they certify 3 illnesses, but a year later you get another illness that's covered under the bill, you make an amendment to your claim.
Question?
More money.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go into the claims. Quick question.
I'm
Kid in the
6'3".
class. Thank you, I love tall men. Kid in the other class was in the building, a survivor of the building got diagnosed with cancer today. She's eligible, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
State employee and was working for the state at the time, not city.
Where?
9/11.
Where?
I don't know
We'll
exactly.
get your location, but still eligible with state, right? Because that's 2 people in the other room.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Doesn't
You
matter,
could have
right?
worked. You could have worked for the circus or.
Pizzeria, as long as
So-
he was there.
So here's the thing.
Oh wait, they're gonna
So-
come in.
so-
They're gonna come in right now.
So you could have worked for the FBI. You know, there's ATF, FBI,
Anyway.
there's CIA,
Right.
there's Secret Service agents in the program. So it doesn't matter if it's state, federal,
Doesn't matter
city.
where, you're
It
there.
doesn't matter.
Okay,
Again, it just matters were you in that geographic map.
right.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
And the kid was in the building when it was coming down and ran and diagnosed
Well, she's not a
today.
kid anymore.
Well, not a kid,
No,
but
she's
diagnosed
not.
today,
She
so.
literally just got
How
She's
old?
coming in.
in the 30s.
Well, where is she?
She's coming, we'll get her.
now.
I'm gonna go talk in that class so they can come in this class.
there's anybody in
Anybody
there.
else?
As long as necessary.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Bunch of people, because you know EMS is a difficult group, weren't comfortable with coming. Host of things, reasons why, want packages. Whether it's embarrassed, whether it's whatever. Packages,
I'll send them up.
at
I'll
least
send you
10,
Okay.
okay?
See what I have.
I'm gonna go next door.
One thing about tonight, there's 11 people who were here. Our very first time when we went down to Washington DC, we did Fort Belvoir, Fort Myer. We had 4 people. And that was all from the Washington DC to Pentagon response. We had to come back a second time. The next group was 30-ish. So if you spread the word tonight and you tell Rose Marie that, hey, you know, we sat in this class, it's very good, you know, it's life-saving, have them contact Rose Marie, she'll get in touch with us, we'll come back and do this again. This is not a hassle for us to come.
I'll sit in traffic.
Give him a donut and shove it in his mouth. That was a little gag. But please spread the word about tonight, because we'll come back again. We have no problem.
I just told you I got in traffic.
He was in a hotel taking a nap at 3 o'clock. Don't let him lie. Were you or you not?
Maybe.
Yeah. So please.
No, he was answering my email.
Tell everybody how important
He was
this
answering my
program is.
email.
I did answer your email, right?
Yes.
What time? Oh, what time is that email?
It wasn't long after 3.
3:58 because he woke up and. So thank you everybody for coming tonight. Everybody's
you.
going to stay around, and if you have
306.
I got a question. I got a question, John, before we leave. When are the first responders gonna get an invite to the White House? They deserve it, and you deserve
That I
it.
can't answer for.